So I was watching YouTube yesterday, watching a segment on 3D fonts by Hobo with Wood. I'll link to that in the description below. And it got me to thinking about taking other two-dimensional objects in LightBurn and trying to make them 3D. So I started with a square, turned it into a cube, and played around a bit with that. And then I thought I'd try something a bit more ambitious. And I actually recreated the Penrose triangle or impossible triangle, and I think that looks pretty good. It's a little dark, need to play with the gradients a bit there, but it's pretty involved in how you make it. So I'm going to jump into LightBurn now and show you my process. See if you can stick through to the end because it's quite a lot of steps to it. So let's jump into LightBurn. I'll show you what I did. Okay, so let's take a look at making this impossible triangle, I think properly known as a Penrose triangle. So I'm just going to start with the polygon tool. I'm just going to drag out a perfect polygon tool by holding the shift key while we drag it, and then go to the selection tool and get the shape properties dialog open. If you don't have shape properties showing, just go over to the window menu, come down, find shape properties and put a tick next to it, and that'll show it up for you. So we just select that and reduce the number of sides to 3 to make a triangle, and then we're just going to flip that over so it's sitting on its base and resize it to 50 millimeters, making sure the aspect ratio is locked so it stays as a proper triangle. Okay, so I need to edit this, so I'm just going to convert to path, so now that it's an editable shape. And I'm just going to go to the arrange tool and just break it apart because I want the 3 sides to be separate. Now I'm going to copy this, duplicate it. So you can either right click and press duplicate, use Control and D as a keyboard shortcut, and we're going to resize this to 75 millimeters. Okay, so now we've got these constituent parts of it. I'm just going to position these. This is a little tricky, I find sometimes. So you've got to zoom right in, select the very end, and you want to snap that onto the corner. Take the next part and snap this into the corner, and this one, get the bullseye into the corner. At this point you're going to remove the original triangle. Also lets you see that you have in fact got these properly snapped into the right places. That looks good to me, so I'm just going to delete that triangle now. I don't need that anymore. I'm going to select all of this, make a duplicate, and I'm going to increase the size of this by 175%. Oh, I did that in the wrong place, you see. Increase the size of it by 175%. Not make it a 7.8 meter triangle. Okay, so then I'm going to take these constituent parts. I find it difficult to say that sometimes. A little bullseye there. Drag that and snap that to that corner. Snap that one to that corner. And this one to this corner. I'm going to select the same 3 original lines again. Needed to duplicate that, so I'm just going to press Control and D and make a copy that way. And now I'm going to increase the size of them by 208.4%. This took me ages to work this out so that it all looks right, and this is the size that I needed to get a flat line across the top. And so you just drag these into position like so, Then you're going to take your pen tool, line tool, and you're just going to draw a line from one to the other, making sure you go and then right click to deselect it. So get the bullseye crosshair there, and then make sure you come past just a little bit and click, right click. If you don't come past, look, you think you've made the line, you get the bullseye, the crosshair, but you're actually short. So I'm just going to undo that. So just make sure you go past the corner. Started there in the wrong place. Go slightly past the corner and you're good to go. And there you've created the Penrose triangle. Now that looks nice. You can use that if that's a shape that you want to use, but I much prefer this shaded. And in order to do this now, you've got to do quite a bit of node editing. So what I do is I'm going to create 2 duplicates of this, and that will allow me to delete certain sections of it. And I'll put those side by side. And I go to my node editing tool here, and I'm going to take one of these sections. And so for the other ones, so I don't need this line, I don't need this line. So I'm just pressing the line and pressing the D key to delete those lines. Now this one, I need to press the I key at the intersection there to create a line there, and press D to trim it. Okay, so then I need to just pick up the node and drop it back. You see those 2 lines have now joined together. So pick up the node, drag it away, and drop it back. Don't need this bit, so I'll just delete that. Pick up the node, drop it back on. And you just keep repeating this until you've created your shape. It'll auto join the last bit. I like to check though, so if it moves both lines, it's joined up. So you just make sure you press undo to take it back to where it was. So there's the first shape created. Now I'll just quickly delete all these other lines that I don't need, and look to make the second shape. That one. Okay, so this one I need to put a node at the intersection here. Put it in the wrong place, doesn't matter. Delete that. We'll just start with this one. So connect all of these nodes together. And when you've done all but one, they all join together, but I always like to just move that one just to check, and then you just make sure you press the undo key. So that's the 2 shapes, and now I need to make the last shape, which is this portion here, isn't it? So hovering over the line, press the D key. And then here, make sure you got the right line selected though, because I need that one there, and I'll hover over that point, intersection, and then D key. If you're not sure which of the different commands are, you can just hover over here and it'll give you a list of all of the node editing tools. So then let's connect these up. And this looks good. Okay, so I'll just undo that. Okay, so we jump out of the node editing now, and grab this, drop the, snap that into there, grab this, and snap this into here, and there is your Penrose triangle again now. Okay, so now these are fillable shapes, so you can just take them individually, put them on a layer if you want to, give them different colours, and then you can set up different power settings, and you'd get quite a nice effect that way. But what I prefer to do is just leave it on the line setting. I'll go over and pick a gradient that I like. I've already found this one. I'll just copy that image, come back into LightBurn, paste it. I do save these to an art library so that I don't have to keep searching for them. So just create an art library and import that in there. So I need 3 copies of this. So I'm just going to drag this up here a little bit and Control D for duplicate. Bring that down, Control D, bring that down. And then I'm going to take this piece by piece and bring this into over the image. And I'm going to rotate the gradient, not the shape, until I get it how I want. And I want the tips to be the darker part. So I will put it like that. It needs to be a little bit bigger. So, somewhere like that. And then I will select both of them. And I will say apply mask to image. Now you can change the position of this if you want to. If you just click where the picture is, you can change that gradient on there. And then when you're happy with how you've got it, just again, select them both, right click, flatten the image mask. And that now is going to stay like that. So I'll just take our next one, put it over the image, okay, just make that bigger, and put the darker bit where I want it. So something like that. Select them both, apply mask to image. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to flatten the image mask now. Move that out of the way, and take this last one, put that on here. Again, rotate this till I've got the tips darker than the rest of it. Just make that a bit bigger so that the whole shape's contained in there. Happy with that. So apply mask to image and flatten the mask. Now you can bring all these shapes back together. So snap, bring that into the corner there. Doesn't snap quite so well now though because of the shape of the mask. And then we'll just bring this down and dock it there. And there you go. You've got a really nicely shaded mask. You'll see here though that it's showing the whole size of the mask. So if you're going to position it here, you see you can only position it in certain places. If you bring it down to try and put this into the corner, you do a preview, it's going to say that the shapes are crossing the edges and won't be set. So if you continue, only the bits that are shown, that are fully on the page, will engrave. So the only way I've found to combat that is to, I don't want to do it with that one, is to go to edit and convert these to bitmap. Oh, I need to group them first. So I'll group those together, edit, and then come down to convert to bitmap. I like to say this is around 300 dpi. Okay, so that's made that into one shape now. Still got quite a big box around it, so what you can do is you can just bring a smaller box around it like so. Select both of them together. Sorry, delete that, I don't want that big box. Select that, and then again apply master image and flatten the image mask. And it gives you a smaller box around it. So now you can bring this and put it down there. And you could put that box right up tight and it'll be much, and then you can get it closer to the edges. So hopefully you found that helpful. If you got some value out of the video, then please consider liking the video and subscribing. It would be really helpful to me while I'm just starting to grow my channel. I'd appreciate it. Thanks very much for watching.